Greetings, beloveds. My name is Nadine Keller. I am a somatic therapist and an integrative practitioner specializing in intimacy, sexuality, and spirituality. It is my great delight and honor to be here today as an ordained priestess of the Sanctuary of the Open Heart, and I am here today to share with you a few self-love practices in sensuality. And why is it important that we get in touch with ourselves as sensual beings? Well, as women, we are the creators of life, and we're naturally in tune to life. We feel things. And yet many of us have been very, very shut down with our sexuality, our sensuality, and our femininity. We're shut down from accessing our inner knowledge, which women discover in their wombs, in their bodies. It's also a tendency for women to grasp outside of ourselves for love. And when we become deeply, deeply self-aware and deeply fulfilled on our own, with our bodies, with our sexuality, and we know how to pleasure ourselves, and we are juiced up on our own, then we become magnetic forces, and we become overfilled with love. And then we go out into the world and we radiate that love, and we're deeply connected to all of life. We remember what the world needs. We remember what others need. We remember that connection to the cosmos, to Gaia, to the first woman through our wombs. It was there with our mother, our grandmother, and back and back and back. And so there's also a way that this disconnect is showing up in dis-ease, I believe, whether it's ovarian cancer, breast cancer, cervical cancer, various ailments of menses, pains, painful childbirth. Many of these things, I believe, can be healed through deeply knowing ourselves and through pleasure. And so, I'd like to introduce you to a couple of practices that will help you fall in love with yourself and get in touch with your sensual creature. All right. So first of all, I'll be using a couple words. One is Shakti. That's that creative, feminine, life force energy. Eros, some may call it also. The other thing I'll be speaking of is Yoni. Yoni is a Sanskrit word. Loosely translated as vagina, but I really prefer Yoni because it speaks to the sacredness, that it's not just a body part. It speaks to that this is the sacred temple into the woman, into her body, into her soul, the Yoni. And then Yoni eggs, I'm going to be talking about a little bit, and these are jade eggs. They can be sometimes called, you may know them as. They can be made in all different gemstones, though, and so I'll be talking about that also. Here's my favorite. It's a garnet one. All right, so to begin, one of my favorite early morning practices I call Shakti Salutations. And what this does is it juices you up and it activates your Shakti, and it also activates your oxytocin so that when you go out into the world, you feel good, you're happy, you're already feeling love. So, do what you need to do, take a shower, come back. If you put lotions on, I would say do this now. There's many ways to do this, but I'm going to briefly just explain, one way. So, I like to find a nice place to sit. I come and do it in front of the fireplace usually, or I make a little altar. And you can get on your knees, or you can sit cross-legged. And I want you to feel your grounding into the earth. Feel that connection. Imagine a grounding cord, a beam of light going down into the earth. And then begin to scoop your pelvis forward. So I'll demo. You'll be coming here and you can breathe. You'll sit and you just scoop up. And as you scoop up, imagine that you're scooping up the earth's energy. Find your own rhythm and breath. Like I said, there's many ways to do this, but find what works for you. And as you breathe and take breaths, you're going to be scooping up Gaia's energy. I want you to take your hands and make circles around your ovaries. With the breath, you're going to rock your pelvis out, and you're going to come in and scoop up. circular motions around your ovaries. Try going both ways, first clockwise and counterclockwise. Go in or out, whatever feels right for you. And after several of those, then I want you to take your hands and come up to your breasts and really feel the connection between the pleasure points in your yoni and the pleasure points in your breast, and feel that heat burning. It's going to ignite those inner fires. Let yourself feel the pleasure of it. Let yourself feel that it's like heating you up. Feel the pleasure in your hands, which will awaken your chakras here. Let yourself feel the texture, the feel of your nipples. Let it electrify you and come to life. So as I said, there's many versions of this. Play with it a little bit. And you can also sit and have your heel up against your clitoris or against your vaginal opening, your perineum. You can do Kegels. You can insert a yoni egg as you do this, 2 yoni eggs, and rock a little bit as you feel the sensations inside of you. It's going to really activate that beautiful, luscious feminine energy. You're going to be filled with oxytocin, so you're going to walk out the door in love. All right. So that's one practice. Another practice that I feel is so crucial for women is yoni massage. And I'm going to demonstrate very briefly yoni massage now, but I really encourage you to take this to a longer practice, which I call is having a date with Aphrodite. And you can read about this on my website. Do this at least once a week if you can, at the very least once a month, a longer extended version. But here's, it's always surprising to me how many women that I work with have never actually explored their own yoni. Just like we should explore our breasts, we should know our yoni, we should know our insides. It's good for us. And if we don't know this ourselves, how are we ever going to expect a lover to know what we like? If we can't know this deep, satisfying fulfillment ourselves, how can we find cosmic love with a beloved? So, to begin, this is how beautiful you are, each and every one of you, no matter what. I had a major trauma during my first childbirth, and then it got worse the second childbirth, and things looked differently. And yet, through love and conscious touch and yoni massage, I actually was able to completely change the tissues of my yoni, and it healed. It healed, physically, to the touch and how it looks. So this is something for you to practice. What I like to do, to begin, self-massage first, a little bit or a lot. Be really conscious, touch yourself, warm up your body with oxytocin, just a little bit will make you feel good. Get a bunch of pillows if you want, prop yourself up so that you're at an angle, maybe you can reach better, get a mirror, begin to get comfortable, like looking at yourself, or just feel, whatever works for you, or lie straight down. I love to begin by either taking a yoni egg, or here's a Shiva lingam that I have. So I can imagine that I'm accessing the divine masculine, or my inner masculine, or God, Shiva, in this way. And I like to roll it. Just really consciously wake up the tissues. That's one way. I can gently play with myself. I encourage women to not use electric vibrators. Of course, I don't ever want to tell a woman how to pleasure herself, yet there's something really powerful about learning how to surrender into the feminine, like softness. And so, give that a try. Use an oil, something natural. You can use coconut oil. I blend my own yoni butters. There's other places you can find yoni butters. I do, all organic coconut oil, olive oil, sun-infused herbs, little beeswax. So that's what I use. And place it on your hands. And begin by perhaps just holding a hand over your beautiful yoni. Being still and breathing. Maybe have another hand on your heart. Again, feel that circuit of the yoni heart. Let her know, let yourself know that she's safe. When you're ready, try something like one finger. See slow as you can go, just down one side of the lips, and then hold, and do the other. See if you can take 5 minutes to just do that. Allow your fingers, your hands to feel the pleasure. Allow your body to feel the pleasure. Notice, are there places where you're numb? Are there places there where you contract? Just notice. I don't want to predetermine anything for you, but I'd love to hear your experiences. When you're ready to insert, I encourage you to begin with 4 quadrants. So perhaps insert with a finger up here, hold it there, and put pressure and notice, again, what it feels like. Without too much movement, just breathe and hold. Feel the pulsing with your fingers and the tissues. Breathe. See what comes up. You'll be accessing your sacred spot, your G-spot here. When you're ready to remove your fingers, go slow, 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 slow. You don't want to re-traumatize. You want to let her know that you're being conscious. Let yourself know. You come out, hold. And again, try the side. Maybe pick 1 or 2, 3 points at the most. Do pressure and just notice. There's going to be different memories, different sensations, different experiences in every point. And down, you can press in your perineum. Here you're going to be accessing the anus, which will bring up other issues. Or not. You may be numb, and notice that. And then you go around. So take your time. And then when you're done, again, hold and breathe. You can hold on the clitoris, you can get to know these areas, you can get to know everything. I encourage you to explore it all. All right. So this is just a very, very brief introduction to some sensual practices. And, with your yoni eggs, here I have several. I use them for different reasons. I charge them with the moon. I cleanse them in salt water. I have ronodite for love. I have, like I said, my favorite garnet. It's very heavy. It's interesting. Rose quartz, moonstone, agate. And how I do it, there's practices, there's meditations, but how I do it is I simply insert them. And I can do it in the morning when I do my Shakti Salutations. I just walk around with them. And what I find is my body naturally molds to them. My body naturally begins to kind of build up strength and muscles. Oftentimes I'll use 2, or I'll take a rose quartz inside first, then another yoni egg, and they'll gently rub against each other. Throughout the day as you walk, and it's going to ignite you and excite you and rejuvenate your tissues. All right, so there is so much more that I would love to share with you. I do hope that this has been helpful. Again, my name is Nadine Keller, and for any more about these practices or for any deepenings, please contact me. I am so passionate about this. I am so passionate about every woman falling so madly in love with herself, because you know how we are when we're in love. We can do anything, and the world needs us. So you can reach me at ecstaticawakenings.com or nadinekeller.com, and I so look forward to your awakening and you falling in love with the most important person ever, you. Many blessings.